What is up, YouTube? This is Damon, coach of the Cincinnati Regigigas, bringing you my ISL versus TCL match versus Colin. I'm going to challenge him, and hopefully this doesn't take too long, but in case you don't know, Colin is from a different league, the TCL. I already mentioned that, but this is my Season 1 team. I already went over my team builder, but I'm going to try really hard to come out with a victory. I honestly expect him to bring a lot of his high-tier mons. Maybe one or two lower tier. I really hope he brings that Gastrodon because that does provide a few opportunities to my team. Alright, here we are. No Gastrodon, but we do see the Entei, Mega Metagross, Mamoswine, Lantern, Hydreigon, and Azumarill. Always gotta be polite. As always, Mamoswine is very threatening. He does not appear to have much bulk on his team. I expect that Lantern to kind of be a phase. Stealth Rocks from the Mamoswine and the Metagross. I expect the Metagross to have it, but we'll see. This is tough, as high-tier matches always are. Lantern is a pretty safe lead for him. The Superior does have ample setup opportunities versus a few of the Mons, namely an Azumarill that might be locked into something not favorable, or one of his low Mons, such as a low Mamoswine or that Lantern. Just need to get it in. Garchomp is a very predictable lead right now, and I feel like he might lead with Mamoswine just because of that. Rotom is a very safe lead on my part, as not a lot in his team can do much to it. So I think I'm going to lead off with that Rotom. Okay, there's an Entei. I don't expect him to stay in, but he might try and surprise me with something. Could always just go for the Hydro Pump, though this is tough on him. I expect him to switch out into the Hydreigon. Or maybe the Lantern. The Lantern could be immune to either one of those things, so I think I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp and try and make a safe play and get some residual damage off on that Lantern. If you didn't know, Lantern can have either Water Absorb or Volt Absorb, which means it can be immune to either one of my stabs, and I don't know which one it is immune to currently. He may not want to reveal that either, as that could be crucial later. I expect him to be kind of considering who to switch into right now. There's the Azumarill. Ooh, a Will-O-Wisp on that Azumarill early is a very huge, very huge. That very limits it. I believe he will outspeed me, but I'm not entirely sure. I do have some natural bulk. I think I'm just going to go for the Hydro Pump here. Alright, I do outspeed, which means I need to be careful. Going to knock off leftovers. Alright, going to take some residual damage. I think I'm going to go for Hydro Pump once more and then try and get a Volt Switch to KO. Then I'll have a free switch in. I'll switch right out into the Lantern. Alright, we do know that it is Water Absorb, which means that is not Volt Absorb. He may be faster than me here. I fully expect him to be. I think I'm faster, actually. If he has no speed investment. I can just Volt Switch out here into a Gardevoir and try and maybe set up a Wish for something. Alright, there's the Volt Switch. I expect him to go for some sort of status here. I don't have Heal Bell on Gardevoir. I could trace Water Absorb and maybe be immune to a Water-type attack, but I expect him to go for Electric. If I expect him to go for Electric, I can switch out into Garchomp, but he could have gone for Will-O-Wisp. I think I'm just going to go out into Gardevoir, safe play. Ice Beam. Good thing I did not go out into that said Garchomp. I am going to Wish. I'm going to go for a Scald. There's that water absorb, and now I can try and switch out into something and eat up a hit. I do not believe a Leaf Storm from my superior will KO a fully specially defensive Lantern right now. He does have leftovers, and I have no means of knocking that off, since I decided to run U-turn instead of knock off on that Mega Scizor. I could just go for Moonblast and try and get damage off. I think I'm going to go for Moonblast. Ooh, a crit. Sorry about that, Colin. Thunderbolt, not going to do a lot. Ooh, but he gets a para. Alright, that's return. Here, I'm going to go for the Wish and try and get a free switch in. Ooh, I'm paralyzed. That's not good. I immediately have to go back out into the Rotom, and he can predict this if he wants, if he makes a prediction good on him, but I cannot leave Gardevoir in, and there's not a lot that can switch in safely, and he knows this. I know that Metagross can carry Grass Knot, but I don't expect it to do that much to the Rotom, as Rotom is a light little washing machine as it floats off of the ground. I'd love to have Stealth Rocks up right now, but there's not a very ample opportunity for me to get that Garchomp in right now. I'm going to Mega Evolve, Grass Knot. Look at that damage. That's pathetic. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp again, get some residual damage on something, and if he decides to switch in the Azumarill, I can just safely go for a Volt Switch. You can see how physical heavy his team are, as 4 out of the 6 Mons are heavy physical attackers. The only heavy special attacker he has is Hydreigon. And we may see a special Entei, but I highly doubt it. Yep. There's the Azumarill to eat up the burn. Ooh, he has a Citrus Berry. Well, since he is burned, I'm going to go for the Volt Switch into the Scizor. And get some different things happening. Still going to do a good bit, because it is an Azumarill. I can Mega Evolve. I don't expect him to save this. I can U-turn. I think just Mega Evolving and going for the Bullet Punch is a safer play. He doesn't have a lot that wants to switch into a Bullet Punch, and if he switches into the Lantern, I can just U-turn out. Pretty safe. Nope, just going to let the Azumarill go down. Wasn't much usefulness because of the burn, but it did get some high damage off. There's the Entei, and he knows I can't switch in. I do not have Protect. I could go into Garchomp and try and eat something, but I'd rather not get burned, and it won't eat it that well anyways. So Rotom it is. Rotom seeing a lot of work. There's a Sacred Fire not doing a lot. No burn, so I'm just going to Pain Split here. Whatever comes in is probably going to be on high health, besides perhaps that Lantern. There's that Lantern. Going to gain just a little bit of health. And I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp here. Can always Wish Pass from the Gardevoir into this. He's not doing a lot of damage to me. As you can see, he's not doing a lot of damage to this. There's a Will-O-Wisp for residual damage. Thunderbolt going to do a lot of damage. I'm going to immediately Volt Switch the heck out of there. Ooh, Heal Bell, that's a good play. Well, of course, I'm going to try and Wish Pass into said Rotom. Thunderbolt's going to do a good bit. Oh, don't get paralyzed. Don't get paralyzed. You're stronger than this, Gardevoir. You cannot get paralyzed. Same plan as before. Alright. Now, as this Gardevoir is not seeing a lot of use, he's going for... I think I'm just going to try and get a KO here and get myself back up to good HP with that Wish. Rotom is doing a lot of work, and I would like to get that thing back up to good health, but but as soon as he gets a KO, I can always switch in something offensive. He knows I can't switch into the Rotom here. He might predict that and go for a Fire Punch. No, just going to go for a Bullet Punch. Here, I'm just going to Roost up. That might be a bad play if he has the Fire Punch. I don't have a lot to take him down right now. No Fire Punch. Alright. But very clearly a Flamethrower. If he goes for the Flash Cannon, he has me. There's not a lot I can switch out into right now. Think I'm just going to sack off that Rotom and then try and get Switch Initiative into something. There's the Flamethrower. The crit's going to take me out, though I'm not sure if I've lived anyway, just because I do not have much HP. I know that Garchomp will outspeed this thing no matter what. So I think Garchomp is my safe play. Here I just go for the Dragon Claw. He can switch out into the Metagross. Ooh, but if he does, I think I'm going to go for the Stealth Rock. Because I don't see him staying in. There's a Stealth Rock, and of course he has an Ice-type move to deal damage to me. I'm going to go out into Mega Scizor. That's why Scizor is here. Eat up those hits. There's no point in going for a Sword Stance because the Entei can just completely scare me out, so I'm just going to go for a Bullet Punch. Oof, barely lives that Mamoswine. But it does manage to get Stealth Rocks up on my side. And because of Stealth Rocks, there's no point in him switching out, so I'm just going to take that out and get a clean KO. I expect the Entei to come back in here, and yep, there it is, and I do not have a lot. I can try and stay in again to overpredict. I can do Bullet Punch for damage. I could switch out into Garchomp. Garchomp still has some usefulness here, being Scarfed and doing damage. Scizor, however, is my only effective switch in to said Metagross. I will now outspeed this thing with the I will not outspeed anything more on his team with Porygon Z, so I think Porygon Z is my sack off right now. Sorry, Porygon Z couldn't do more, but couldn't really outspeed anything. Alright. Now here it's pretty clear I have to go out into Garchomp. Now, Entei is still valuable to him, because it's the only thing that can really handle. Now, he has Flamethrower and Hydreigon. Here, I think I go for Dragon Claw, and it puts him low enough so that Serperior can come in and kill. Gonna stay in. Ooh, he's still at good health. But I survive that and get burned. That's gonna hurt. He does not have any natural recovery, but Dragon Claw will not KO him. And because I am burned, there is not a whole lot of point in sticking in now. But if he switches out into the I have to stay in. He may have me with that burn, which is unfortunate. Because Dragon Claw, barring a crit, and I'm not even sure a crit will KO, will not take out this Entei, and he's a free switch into Mamoswine here, and he knows it. Unless he thinks I may still not be Scarfed. Dragon Claw does not KO. Nor does Sacred Fire, and there's no point in me switching out right now. And there's no point for that Entei to switch out. Ooh, Extreme Speed. Rough Skin is going to take him out, though, because I do have the correct ability. Now, Scizor beats Metagross 1v1. Serperior does not beat anything 1v1. I think he sends out Hydreigon here, because he knows I have no switch-ins. I think I try and go into Gardevoir and get a Thunder Wave off so I can have a speedy U-turn for damage against either that Metagross or that Hydreigon. He will kill this thing if he goes for a Bullet Punch. Okay, Protect goes off safely. There's a Bullet Punch. So he does not have... He does not... I don't think he has Hidden Power Fire, so I can switch out safely here. I'm going to go for the Swords Dance to try and take this thing out in one fell swoop. I can roost up afterwards unless he gets a double Meteor Mash crit or Meteor Mash improvement or some sort of crit. This is a very close battle. I have to go. Goes for the Hammer Arm and misses. Whew. Now I go for U-turn. Hammer Arm does good damage, lowers his speed. U-turn after the Swords Dance does not pick up the KO. I'm going on to Superior. Because I think I can still just hit down that Hydreigon. I think I can live one hit. No, you know what? We have to calc this. Sorry you're seeing all this fun, fancy stuff right now on my screen. $252. And let's say Meteor Mash. I have 20 in defense. Does max 87%. Oh, he switches out. I made the right play. Go for Leaf Storm. Critical hit. Doesn't really matter. Now, if he's Scarfed, he outspeeds me. But I go for Dragon Pulse anyway. He is Scarfed. Okay. Correct play by him. Now I Bullet Punch and take it out. I think he wins here. I have to go for U-turn, of course. Actually. Oof. Doesn't take me out with a Zen Headbutt. U-turn takes him out. Oof. That might have been a misplay there from him at the end. Gonna share the replay. Overall, very close match. That was very well played. And see, this is exactly why we did the verses. So we could have high competitive matches between champions of two leagues. I would like to point out that we did have some higher tier mons than him. But overall, I think that was a very fun and fair match. GG to Colin, good friend. Just so you can see the team again. Very well played from him. That came down to the wire, and that was a very fun match. Very surprised. I'm not really surprised that we won, but surprised all the same. Again, GG to Colin, and I will see you all next week with my Week 6 versus Xavier, another one participating in this ISL versus TCL match. Did very well last season. We'll see how he does this season. And with that, I will see you all later. Thanks for watching.